The views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the management and staff of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Yeah, but they should be.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power.
And once again, welcome to the show for this Monday. And you know, this weekend was a very good weekend for me. I made some very smart picks. I did some very beautiful things, and I had a great weekend watching football. And of course, now in ZNS, no one has a team left in the race. Brando Stewart's team was beaten up on, and we'll talk about that a little later. And you know, we're going to get into some NBA stuff. Going to talk a little bit about the tank and this big fight over the weekend. But what I want to do first, before we get into everything, last week someone made some picks last week, and I don't want to call that person's name, but what I want to do is just play this little scene that we have from last week. At least I did say whoever was going to win out of Atlanta and Green Bay is my pick for the Super Bowl.
No, I beg to differ. No, I still stay with my Bears in the Super Bowl from the NFC.
Perez, you going Bears on me, too?
No, I'm not.
I'm going to stick with the Bears. I feel that's in the divisional rivalry, and I feel if any team know how to beat the Green Bay Packers will be the Chicago Bears.
I think the defense of the Bears.
Right.
So two y'all going Bears?
Yes. I am going with Jets, Jets.
Perez, who you got?
I'm opposite of you. I'm going to go with the Jets.
Pittsburgh hasn't shown me anything. They won that game by luck.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
And of course, that was our very own guest in studio. That was LaWanda, just taking everyone down a peg last week. Wonder what happened last week, man?
Oh, you're wrong, because the week before that you didn't play who my predictions was, but I was wrong.
Very wrong. Horribly wrong.
My predictions wasn't right, but I would like to be against you all the time. That's why I went with the Jets and the Bears.
So you losing?
No. Didn't I go against you guys when Atlanta played?
I'm just asking.
I went against you guys when Atlanta played, and the Packers came out victorious.
Okay.
I didn't hear them picks.
What, them picks? Because those are old picks. We have to live in the here now.
But I got to defend myself. I think I was robbed. I think I was edited to say the Jets, because I said I'm going opposite of your pick.
Right.
And then I said something about the Jets later. I think he pasted that together to make me look bad.
So that's why you're going to come against me?
He's the show host, and he will win, right? But the last laugh will always be the best, Perez.
Okay. It's all right, because we heard it from your own mouth. Perez might sneak out a little bit, but
I was wrong. Even the best analysts make some bad prediction. Look at Shannon Sharp and all of those guys, the Dan Marino guys in the NFL Today show. They make bad predictions too, I'm sure.
But those were spectacularly horrible. Terrible picks. Terrible.
What, a 5-point and a 7-point loss? Was horrible?
No, those games weren't as close as that.
At the end of the
day,
they
didn't feel as close. At the end of the day, you still lost. Still was the wrong picks. So, what I want to talk about, though, Jay Cutler for the Bears yesterday didn't even really play in the second half. He said, I
spoke to their spokesperson today at 12 when he came in at work, Mr. Brando. He said that he spoke to Lovey, that's the Bears coach, and say he was hurt, but we missed the play. And as good as I know CBS to be, that's the NFL. I mean, Fox, as good as I know Fox to be, they just get every angle. So I was trying to find out where he get hurt too.
When did he hurt his knee? When did it happen?
So he was always aching and peeing. So I said to myself, whatever.
But he stood up the rest of the game.
It was the pressure.
It was pressure, boys, pipe.
It's the pressure.
Because I know if you jam your toe now, well, I guarantee you'll go and sit down, right?
You playing to get to the Super Bowl. I'll go with half of my body in pain.
But he stood up the rest of the game. You have a bad knee, and yet you're still standing up. No crutches. No doctors looking at your leg.
Stand straight up.
Nothing.
No, his ego was hurt.
You think so?
And hats off to the third string quarterback. He came in and he make the Bears look better than they.
Now, I have to quote Brando. Brando said his name is Haney and not Henny. Don't get him confused with Chad Henny.
Yes.
It's Haney.
Yes, please.
Now, once again, anyone who wants to get in on this conversation, numbers are 352-3984 and 352-3985. Now, Green Bay. I wonder whoever won out of Atlanta and Green Bay
is going to the Super Bowl.
Is going to the Super Bowl.
You're right.
The man with the green eyes?
The man with the green eyes, you're right.
See?
Yes.
And Perez, as a fellow Atlanta fan, yeah, we mad that we lost. But at least we could say, hey, if Green Bay didn't beat us, we was going to the Super Bowl too.
Yeah,
we could say it. The team that beat us went to the Super Bowl. So
I must take back something that I said also to you, because that defense in Green Bay is spectacular.
Yeah, I think they're playing like a complete
that guy
team
with
now.
that hair. That long hair.
Clay Matthews.
I know.
See, they play big boy football.
Yes.
I hear that's what the Steelers say too. They play big boy football.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good Super Bowl. For the last few years, we've had a good Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Where you couldn't predict who the winners would be, and it wouldn't have been a lopsided affair. But close games straight through for the last 4 Super Bowls, I think it is. Because I remember the Arizona-Pittsburgh one. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had last year with the Colts and the Saints.
Yeah.
I can't remember the year before that it was also well. But we had good Super Bowls, so we're looking forward to another good Super Bowl.
You remember we had the Patriots and the Giants too?
Excellento. Once Randy Moss don't get it.
Now, what are you up against Randy Moss? You don't like Randy Moss?
Attitudes. Him, Terrell Owens, Chad Okosinko. After Chad started hanging with Terrell, he got that attitude.
You think
I don't
so?
like guys
I think
with
he had
that ego problem.
That.
Yes, you can be arrive. See, you can arrive, right? Because you're a good player and everything. But you don't have to. We can see it. If you pull up in a bus, we can see you pull up in a bus. You don't have to show everybody you pull up in a bus.
But I think at the end of the day, that comes down to Perez. If from middle school we were saying, Perez, you are the greatest ever, and then you go to high school and we say you were still the greatest ever. Then you go to college and we say you're the greatest ever. Then why, when I'm in the league, you all expect me to think different than I am the greatest ever?
Because you might
have won. You live up to that.
And that's what I'm just going to say, because they might have won in high school, they might have won in college, but they haven't produced in the NFL yet. See, even though I like Owens a little more than I like Ochocinco. But Owens went a little further. Ochocinco never took his team anyplace.
That's true.
And see, Terrell, he had something wrong with his leg in that Super Bowl.
And he still played.
Yes, unlike
Mr. Cutler. Thank God we got rid of you.
See, that's true. Bronco fan.
Yes.
So how do you feel about Cutler now after Broncos ship him out?
Like his ego was hurt, and that's why he couldn't play. And he was like a cow yesterday. He ate a lot of grass because they had him on his stomach all day. I think they had four hurries for the period of time he played. He had 3 sacks, and he was running. He likes that. He was running for his life.
Now we have a call on the line. Caller, go ahead.
Keith, let me tell you something. This is Granny, the #1 football player around the town. I could have beat them Green Bays. But the Bears, they sorry. They let me down, and I'm hurt right now. My husband here, he laughing at me, and this ain't fair, because we should have beaten the Bears. I mean Green Bay.
Y'all could have beat Green Bay?
Yes.
Well, what you think happened? What went wrong?
They give up, man. We fall through, and now they got my grandson Brando here crying.
No, man. That's what y'all doing, Brando?
He heard Brando's story. He holding his head. He's sick. That's all I said. He's sick.
You need to go give Brando some soup.
Because of that loss, I don't know if you noticed Grammy. He was cleaning up all day. He's cleaning house all day.
My Lord.
All right, Granny.
All right.
Now, y'all know y'all wrong. How y'all doing Brando today?
He cleaned up 3 rooms already for the day. We have 3 editors.
That's true. I saw him with the broom.
Cleaning. That's what beating is do to you.
That's true. I don't think I've ever seen him with a broom so much. Brando Stewart moved the Christmas tree out the studio and all today.
That's what I blame them so much. I blame the Bears because the Bears had an opportunity to knock those guys out the playoff in the last game of the season. They wouldn't have been this far if they had knocked them out the playoff. But no, you want them to win, to come back and beat you guys. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened.
These things come back to bite you.
Okay.
Now, Ben Roethlisberger.
Big Ben. He ran the touchdown in.
I remember last week, too. See, I didn't get that sound bite because I didn't want to beat up on her too much. I remember she said, Pittsburgh hasn't proven anything to her.
What about now?
I can give it to you. Their offense, let me say it again, their offense didn't improve much to me during the playoff run. But give it up to that defense because that defense played spectacular yesterday. And that's what I think they got the edge on. Even though the Jets didn't perform in the first half, but they should have. but give it up to the Pittsburgh defense.
So what do you think is going to be superior in the Super Bowl? Would it be the offense or the defense of on which
the team
side?
that doesn't make the most mistakes.
Make the least amount of mistakes?
Come on, that's
Yes.
a generic one to say, though.
I'm being real.
So you trying to tell me right
if
now
you
they had
see
a dead tie?
They have a dead tie. If Pittsburgh make a turnover, you realize these turnovers be in the other players in their own territory. Then you give a better chance to score for Green Bay to score.
Yeah.
And you know Aaron Rodgers, he can punch that ball in.
Okay, well, let me give you another question. Who's the better quarterback, Roethlisberger or Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, to me, has the brain. Ben Roethlisberger proved himself. He's a good physical player. Now, mind you, I told you, like, last week he was banging up. But he's a tough player. I think when it comes down to smarts, give it up to Aaron Rodgers.
So you calling Ben Roethlisberger a big dummy?
No, now you said that.
I agree with your stats. Besides the fact that I think Aaron Rodgers threw too much interceptions. I think the interceptions might hurt
one
him.
of those interceptions yesterday wasn't his fault.
You mean the one off?
But look at the season though. I think if it comes,
but if you watched him coming into this playoff run, you could see he like after that concussion, like he had a time to lay his head down and study. So he became wise and smart, and he can read defenses better. So I noticed now with this playoff run, like he got a little wiser. Even the last 2 games in the season, if you watched him play, he got a little wiser. I think after that, Detroit Lions lost. He lost to Detroit Lions early in the season. After that was their last loss.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Okay, well then,
right. And after that, he got wiser.
Which team do you think has the better defense? Steelers? Green Bay? Steelers? Hands down?
Steelers.
Not even close?
It's close, but Steelers. See, Steelers proved themselves too.
Clay Matthews or Troy Polamalu? Who you take? Which one?
Big Clay.
You take Clay?
Yeah.
And you take Polamalu?
Yeah. Polamalu, his problem with me is like I told you with
better defense?
With Polamalu, his problem is the commercial.
What, the head and shoulders?
The commercial jinx is going to rain. Watch.
See now, if it comes better defense, I think the Steelers have a better defense, but I think Green Bay. See, in certain when 2 defenses are so close, I think when you take the favorite, that gives the underdog a little bit extra because they're already so close to the top. Because Green Bay was ranked number 2 in total defense when it came to points.
So who's the number 1?
Well, we know who's the number 1. Pittsburgh.
Yes.
So that's why it was so 1-2 so close. But nobody give picks yet. Next week, we're going to give our picks for the Super Bowl.
On Monday, yes.
And what I want to get into also, Saturday night, the Tank versus Real Deal Holyfield. Did you watch the fight?
No,
I see why Mike Tyson by the ears off.
See, what happened is, the fight only went 3 rounds.
Fight dirty.
Yeah.
3 rounds. Tank, now, to be honest, the fight was kind of close throughout the first round. Then Tank threw.
It was not
Tank,
close at all. I don't think it was close at all, Rod.
It was close until Tank started raining down some
The
blows on him.
conch. They call it the conch punch.
He said a conch punch. He said he hit him with the conch punch. See, to me, throughout the whole round, it'll be close. And then to me, Holyfield's age would show. And
if they win 12 rounds, you mean?
And once again, our numbers are 3523984 and 3523985 in case you want to get in on the conversation. But I think Holyfield's age started to show coming towards the end of those rounds.
I watched it on YouTube this morning just so I can get it out. Because I heard everybody talking about it today. To get a feel of what they were talking about. And I was like, from the first round, he was getting beat with the conch punch.
Yeah. I think he won
you remember
both
when
rounds.
Cartoon with the big hammers?
Yeah.
He had a big hammer in his
See,
hand.
Perez, let me explain to you what the conch punch is. Basically, you know, if you see 2 people fight in the schoolyard, you always throw that heavy blow.
Yeah.
What he do is sneak in with the right.
With the jab.
Yeah. And then when Holyfield came to lean in, he would come with the conch punch on top of his head.
That's what caused his brain started. When he hit Holyfield on top of his head, his brain is started to shake.
See now, why the fight only went 3 rounds.
That's why he say, oh, this man cut me. He probably cut himself.
Yeah, Holyfield got a cut above his eye. Okay. Now, Holyfield said he was head-butted. That's what opened up the cut. Me, personally, I never saw a headbutt cause the cut.
That's like Cutler's injury.
Yeah, phantom injury.
Yes.